Good evening, my dear brothers and sisters. May I invite you to join our poems. We recite the Avalokiteshvara's name to heal and to bless us all. All wrongdoing arises from the mind. When the mind is purified, what trace of wrong is left? After repentance, my heart is light like a white clouds that have always floated over the ancient forest in freedom. Bao nhiêu lầm lỗi cùng do tâm tình còn đâu, dấu lỗi lầm sám hối xong rồi lòng nhẹ nhõm. Ngàn xưa mây bạc vẫn thông dong. Nam mô Avalokiteshvaraya. 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 Good evening, my dear brothers, sisters, and friends. Today is June the 3rd, 2011. Welcome to our weekly meditation session. How are you today? Did you enjoy the nice and cool weather? I have been travel quite a lot since April. Because every year I have a lot of invitations for the retreat and also Dhamma talks, especially during the Buddha's birthday celebrations seasons, what we call the Viksak season. Next Saturday will be June 11th. There will be an international Buddha's birthday celebration here at 9 o'clock in the morning until 2 p.m. So I would like to announce and invite all of you, your friends, your family, please come to join us. And I think we will have about a few Buddhist traditions like Japanese tradition, Chinese tradition, Tibetan, Sri Lankan's tradition. So few Buddhist traditions will be here to commemorate the birth of the Buddha. According to our schedule, every first Friday of the month, we do the precept recitation. This is the tradition that have practiced since the Buddha's time. In Pali, they call Posatha. Posatha means the day that you recite the disciplines, the rules that you have received, that you have made the commitment, the vow to receive, to practice. This is the day to nourish your practice, to keep you in a good practice and make you more stronger and grow up and move further in your practice. In Vietnamese and Chinese, we call trưởng tịnh. Trưởng means grow stronger and higher. Tịnh means you're purified, you're calmness. Anything we have learned, but we do not review, we do not recite, we may forget. And if we do not understand and remember it clearly, we cannot practice that mindfully. No matter what, anything we learn, we should recite that regularly. Let's say you learn how to cook that kind of dish, but you don't do it often. When you come back to do it, you are not really sure what the ingredients, what to do, how much it, for the measurement. Same thing. In our practice, anything we have learned, we have made the commitment to keep, and we should recite that regularly so we never forget. So in our tradition, in the Buddhist traditions, the Buddha has decided twice a month. So that means the first day of the month and the full moon, so every 2 weeks. In the monk's life, one day before we do the recitation, all the monks will shave their head. That means they're cleansing their body. And the next day when it comes to the recitation, they're listening carefully with their calm and clear mind. So they are cleansing their mind. So every day, our practice when we're doing meditation is to calm and to clear, or another word, to cleanse our body and the mind. When you're listening to the 5 mindfulness trainings, doesn't matter whether you receive it or not, but these are the trainings to help us to maintain in a more strong, solid, stable with our daily life. If you remember back, all the five trainings we just read, and you can see that each of the training contain a lot of practice in there. So these are not the disciplines. We just obey, but we don't know why we do that. So because of that, every single trainings, we start with the word aware. aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, I vow to cultivate my loving kindness. So because we understand the suffering of something, that's why we learn to do this in order to avoid our mistakes, our wrongdoings. So when I invite the community, please listening carefully to each of the recitation with your calm and clear mind. And you can silently say, yes, I do. If you see that every month, you have learned and practiced that. Usually we have to do twice a month. But because we are very diligent, so we move on to once a month. Something very opposite. So I hope that the community can, the Sangha can arrange your time to come every Friday to practice together. Because every time when we come to Friday, it is a good opportunity to help us in the practice very much. So when you sit solidly, you sit still and listen to each of the recitation. Another word, you listening deeply to each of the trainings, each of the precepts. You have the opportunity to calm yourself and reflect and listening to yourself whether you have done that with your best or not. There is no sins. Because when we do this, it is good for us. When we practice, it's not good for the Buddha, not good for me, for the monks. But if we do each of these things, it's good for us. So when we realize, oh, I have done something wrong, it's okay. You don't have to confess with me. You don't have to confess with the Buddha. You don't have to speak out what you have done wrong and ask me to come to the Buddha on behalf of you and request the Buddha to clear that. But we need to listening deeply to ourselves. What we have done. Yes, in the past month, I did not practice my third precept very well. I did not practice my fourth trainings very well. That means I have used a lot of unmindful speech, unmindful words, and that creates a lot of suffering for myself, especially my loved one. You listening to that, you have heard what you have done wrong. And now we silently confessed. Because the true meaning of the confession in Buddhism is to transform your mistakes. You stop by stopping. Do not continue to do that and renew yourself. That is the true repentance. That is the true confession. If you come to Thầy to speak out your mistakes, not because you want me to confess on your behalf, but to feel that there is someone that you can dump out your negatives, hope somebody can understand you and give you the right guidance. Every day I have few people come or make phone call to share with me their problems, their mistakes, but they just wish somebody can listen to them, somebody can give them the right advice, the right guidance. That's all. So please do not misunderstand that when I talk to Thầy about my mistakes, Thầy will confess on my behalf. And since then, I'm clear. So next day I can continue to do that. The true meaning of repentance in Buddhism is stop it, don't do it. If you know it's wrong, do not do it. Now you need to continue to do something good. Sorry, apologize, but no meaning. No, we do not do that wholeheartedly. Every time when we do something wrong, we say sorry. Every time when we do something, we say, I'm sorry. That doesn't help. And then later on, it's become your habit. You just say it, but you don't know what it means when you say sorry. For example, if someone turn around and by accident they hit us, both of us will say, I'm sorry, excuse me. But sometimes we just say it, in a very regular, strong habit in us. And in the practice, that's good, that is not bad. But in a very general way, like, accidentally we hit each other, we touch each other by accident. You can say that. But in our daily life, there are a lot of more important things, dangerous things, serious things. Apologize, sorry cannot work, cannot make, cannot help. So what it means by sit quietly, listening to each of the training, slowly, clear. So after each of the recitation, the bell invite. We breathe in, we breathe out, and reflect. Yes, I do, or no, I don't. No, I did not do it well. So that's why today, when we begin the Avalokiteshvara recitations, I have read the Gatha, the words. All wrongdoings arises from the mind. Everything from the mind. We want it good, we want it bad, it depends on our mind. So all the wrongdoing arises from the mind. When the mind is purified, what trace of wrong is left? Remember, sometimes we arise good mind. Sometimes we arise bad mind. The bad action come from the bad thinking. The bad words come from the bad thoughts. So when the thought, the negative thoughts, the bad thoughts already transform, what is the trace of mistakes still left in our mind? Nothing left, because that already transformed. For example, this is my Dhamma instrument. We did not clean it for a while, so we see some dust. When you want to clean it, you need to use something to wipe and clean it. So soon the dust cleaned, whereas the dust still tainted to this piece of material. Same thing. When the mind, the negative mind, is already transformed, the negatives, thinking, no longer there. So after we truly repentance from our heart, from our mind, Now we feel very light, like a cloud, like a white cloud. Very freedom, liberation, beautifully. For example, if I have done something wrong to someone, I feel very heavy in my mind, in my heart. So if one day I can get rid of my ignorance, my arrogance, I can come directly to that person and I can talk to that person. So after we both bring out the matter and we both solve the problem, I feel so light, so released and relief. Do you experience what I have said? Because in our life, we have done a lot, we have faced a lot of situations like that. When something that contained in us for so long, one day it's solved, it released. We feel like tons of rocks already moved away from our heart. So every 2 weeks or every month, we do the precept recitation. What is the precept means? The precept means it is the fence to protect inside of this field. Like each of us, we have a field, and we need the fence to protect. Outside our field, nothing can come in. Inside the field, nothing can come out. So we cannot pass the border. That means, that is the meaning of the fence, the meaning of the precept. Something to protect us. Because the fence is able to protect our field, the field of merits, the field of goodness. You see that everything we do, we need the border. Because that can declare how far we can go. If we go further than that, we will step into the wrong area. You can see that sometimes in the parking lot, they say this is a private parking lot. Okay? If we park without the permission, we'll have to pay for the fine. Right? Any public area, they have a sign for handicap, for disabled people. If we do not have the tag, we park in there, we pay for the fine. That's fair. Everywhere they have the sign, wrong way, one way, cannot exit, cannot come in, no trespassing. Lot of signs are put on. So what are those? Those are the precepts. It's like I come back on Sunday night, late Sunday night from Colorado after 3 days retreat there. The next day, the young novices, they came back from school. And usually every day after they come back from school, they used to knock on my door. They join their palms and they greet in Thai. And they do that as usual. And usually I also respond by bow them and tap on their face and ask them how is their day. I do that to the very young one. I ask him, show me your hands. Actually, I look down and I see a dirty hands. I say, pull out your hands. And he showed me his hands. Very dirty. I asked him, how many days you did not take shower? He very honest. He said, 4 days. I called him in. I said, why don't you take shower? Do you remember what Thầy said? You have to take shower every day. And the reason why you take shower, because you play outside with your friends in the field. So your body is wet and you need to take shower. He kept quiet for a while and he said, Thầy, I didn't go out for 2 days. He tried to bargain with me. And I told him, okay, now you have 2 choices. Whether you will not take shower for 1 month. So that means you have 26 more days free from take showering. Or you have to rinse your hands in a bowl and you drink that water. He said, Thầy, don't give me hard decision. I told him, now you have to make your choice. He said, your 2 choices are very hard to make. I say, okay, you do not make your choice now because it's hard. Why don't you choose an easy choice that I already gave you? What is the choice? Take shower. If you don't want to face a difficulty choices, then why don't you do it when things are not coming yet? You see what I mean? He stand for a while and he said, but I cannot drink the dirty water. I say, why? It make me sick. I say, okay. Same thing. When you swallow inside your mind a lot of negatives, a lot of unnecessary things, it will make your mind sick the same. Now I asked him, do you like to sit next to someone who smells bad? He said, no. I say, same thing. You don't like to sit next to someone whose smell is not good. Then people don't like to socialize, to get along with people who have a negative thoughts. The dirty body can wash by water, by shampoo, by soap. The dirty mind needs to wash by practice. The reason why I used to teach the young novices something that happened to them right in that moment. And I use step by step to give them an example to see, so they can compare. It's very matched with their daily practice. Dirty hands cannot hold any food, cannot touch anything because it's dirty. When we have a dirty hands, if we touch to something, we also can make that dirty too. When you have an angry mind in you, you cannot talk. Because every single word you speak, you will make people suffer along with your anger. So, I use an example by the hand, by the body, by the choice. So do you remember I have mentioned a lot the teachings of the Buddha able to save us away from the suffering. But remember, do not wait until you have done, you have created, and that's become the fruit, that become the result, and you ask to solve. It's too late. Saving us from the suffering is saving us from the very beginning. Before you start, before we begin that wrongdoings. For example, they already put up the sign. This is a private parking lot. If you park here, you are not the customer, you are not whatever here, then you cannot park. If you park here, you must pay for all your fine, your penalty. $500, $1,000, whatever. When you have the ticket, you blame. You cannot blame anyone, right? And that's me sometimes. I remember one day I go to the Chinatown on the way to the post office, and one of the nuns asked me to stop by and to one of the store and get her some lemongrass, and lemongrass only cost $1. The sign put right at the beginning of that alley, but I did not pay attention. At the very at the end of the other end, but I go to this end, so I didn't see the sign. I parked there. I step in to grab lemongrass, only 2 minutes. I come out. I pay $45 for my ticket. I bring home and I told the nun, here, this lemongrass cost me $46. That's life. If you do not watch out, you do not very careful at the beginning, and remember, when you pay for the result, it may a lot. Because every debt, you must pay for the interest. You borrow $100. When you pay back, you must pay $110, $120. Very rarely, you pay back at the same amount. Because that's their business. They lend you, they loan you. When you pay back, you must pay the interest. In the life, it's the same. So I teach the youngest novices on last Monday. I told him about. So when I asked him to wash the hands in the bowl and drink it, doesn't mean I mean it, but I want to test him to see how he answers me, and I will take his answer to become a lecture for him. So he said, I cannot make the choice now. I asked him why, and he told me, because your two choices are too hard to make. And none of the choice that I like, whether do not take shower for a month, whether wash the hands in the bowl and drink that water. Very hard to make. I said, well, why you know that you have to face the difficult moment that you make to take the one of the choices. But at the beginning, when you do not take shower, you know this is something. So one day you have to meet Thầy. One day he done his homework. He done it, and he forgot home. He have to bring the piece of paper back for the guardian or the parent to sign. He know one of the nuns in the temple does not speak English. So he brought that piece of paper to the nun and asked the nun to sign. Very smart guy. When Thầy is not home, the nun willing to sign, but the nun never know what is that. She just signed it. And very unfortunate for him, one day he brought another piece of paper like that home, another foam like that. And now the nun said, oh, Thầy is home. You can bring up to Thầy and ask him Thầy to sign for you. He have nowhere else to run. I picked up his homework that morning. I saw it, it's done, but did not bring to school. So you know that this is something very cute. When they grow up, this is something as a good memory for them. Last Tuesday, I cleaned my room and suddenly I found a birthday card drew by that youngest monk. I think he gave this card to me 3 years ago. He draw himself and then with a circle around his mouth and say repentance. Inside the card he said, Thầy, you are the best teacher. I love you very much, something like that. All of that, I keep it. It's nothing, but to me, it's something beautiful. And I think when you have children, your children bring you back some drawing, some card for the mother, for the Father's Day. I think at least you keep 1 or 2, something very cute. I kept that quite a lot for myself. And I know that when they grow up, this is something will be a beautiful reminding. So when you look back at that, it makes you feel happy. It makes you feel a lot of memories. Same thing. We are receiving the precepts, the trainings, but if we do not come back and reflect, we don't remember firmly, clearly how to practice, what to practice. We learn, I think a lot of us now, when we are driving, we know the rule. But the rule that we have learned many years ago, compared to the new driver learner now, lot of difference. I remember one day there's a Vietnamese man who just came to Canada, to Edmonton. He failed his test, his road test and his writing test 3 times already. So one day he stopped by and he asked Thầy to come with him. First to translate, second so he can wish that he can ask me, give him the answer. But he chose the wrong person. I forgot everything. Now when I drive, I just, based on what I understand and to my habits, I cannot remember exactly what is the answer anymore. I think you too. But when you do the writing test, you have to give them the exactly answer. So he asked me, Thầy, what is this answer? I said, sorry, I don't know. I only can translate. So that means anything we have learned, we should recite it regularly. That is the reason why in every religion, in every practice, they should have the ritual ceremony. What is that ceremony for? We do not only pray to ask for help, but that ritual ceremony, every day we repeat and repeat to make the words stay in us, to come with us, and to make the meaning of the ceremony the meaning of the teaching more clear, more strong, more stable inside of us. And then we can apply those teachings in our daily life. So today, I share with you about the precept recitation once a month, the meaning of it. Secondly, why we need to do chanting, why we need to do prayers, why we need to do recitation, because the more you recite, the more you remember. For example, the Gatha I just read, all wrongdoing arises from our heart, our mind. When the mind is purified, what trace of wrong is left? After repentance, my heart is light like a white cloud that have always floated over the ancient forest in the freedom. If you read this every day, you will memorize it. For example, every day we do bell recitation. When you hold up the stick before you invite, in your mind you will recite, body, speech, and mind held in perfect oneness. I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers be awakened from forgetfulness and transcend all the anxiety and sorrows. So if we do not say that every day, we won't remember. So recite means you read again and again. So all the teachings come through your mind beautifully. Anything that has come, any difficulties come to us each day, all of that learning arise in us and help us to calm down. For example, you learn the Gatha, transform your anger. Angry make me look ugly. I know that. I come back to my conscious breathing. I cultivate on loving kindness. I can relieve my anger. So if you remember that, whenever you're angry, that Gatha will come up and remind you, when you're angry, you look ugly. That is the reason why we need to memorize few gathas, verses. So every day when we do something, we recite that. For example, you learn the gatha, how to wash your hands. Washing my hands. I wish that everybody have a clean hand so they can preserve the planet. When you turn on the light, unmindfulness is the darkness. Mindfulness is the light. Bringing the light of mindfulness to this entire world can make this whole world benefit from our mindfulness. So every single thing we do, we have a gatha. We have a words. And that words, like a string, tie our buffalo mind. Stay firmly right in the present moment. Please find a book called Present Moment, Wonderful Moment. That is the title of the book. That book contains 50 verses for your daily use. When we wake up, when we walk, when we put on our shirt, when we wear our shoe, when we turn on the computer, when we use the remote control, when we turn on our car, when we turn on the water, when we wash our hands, every single thing we used to do in daily life, they have a words. Recite that. If you don't remember, you can type them Make it larger, put everywhere around your house. Every time when you come to that area to do something, remind you. When you open the window, there is a word. When you look at the mirror, there is a word. So please find that book. Okay? It's called Present Moment, Wonderful Moment. Very thin book. Each of the words, they have the commentary. So after you read the word, first you can choose something you used to do every day and something you like. Memorize that first. Sometimes you can create your own. Like sometimes I create my own. I have a lady, a Vietnamese lady. I teach her that. And now she does not remember all. But she told me, whenever I come to the temple, I see someone sweeping the floor. And deeply in my mind, I say, may all of us can sweep away the afflictions like we sweep away the dust in this house. So when you sweep the floor to make your house clean, remind ourselves we need to sweep away our afflictions. Because that stay in us, the more they stay in us, the more we suffer. Thank you for your listening. Thank you for your attendance. Tomorrow we have a mindfulness day from 9 to 4. So please, if you cannot make your whole day, you can come any part of the day you want. And I also have the mindfulness retreat registration. So please take one. And the theme for this summer retreat will be enjoying the miracle of the now. That is the theme for the summer retreat. This summer retreat will be combined with teenagers. They will attend with us the mindful eating, mindful sitting, walking, and Dhamma talk. And when sometime they will have their own activities. I have invited Dr. Ong to be one of our guest speakers. So I think this is a very special and beneficial retreat. Hope you can arrange your time and make your holidays to be possible. Holiday means the day that you can enjoy and make that day become holy. So sometimes we take holiday, but actually it's not holy at all. Please enjoy the 3 sounds of the bell.